Hello! Today I'm going to be talking about how to build a community on social media. Now, this is a question I get asked quite a lot, actually. What is a community? How do we grow it? And this is what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about what a community is, what it's not, but I'm also going to talk through around 5 steps on how you can build your own community on social media, which can be really quite lucrative, and I'll explain how at the end. So I'm Bex from Social Media Executive, and I'm a social media trainer and consultant. And I have my own community. I run a group called The Social Flock, where we come together, write our social media content together. We have loads of ideas, inspiration. We share wins, we share successes, we share posts that have done really badly and can't understand why. But we have a community where we come together and we actually help each other to create our social media without outsourcing it, but we teach each other how to do it and get a high reach for that as well. So this is a live stream, so if you are watching it live, please do say hello, join the chat, let me know who you are, introduce yourselves, that would be great. And again, if you are watching this on catch up, please do ask me any questions in the chat below. I'm more than happy to come back and answer any questions, any queries you might have afterwards as well. So please do join the community in the chat for today. Okay, I'll also put a link there to the Social Flock if you're interested in joining our Barbara and all her lambs in the background. If you really are interested in taking your social media to the next level, you need to get a higher reach, you need some accountability, you're just not creating consistent content, then please do come and join the Social Flock. The Social Flock is a community. So what is not a community? So I'm going to start straight away, because when we are looking at, as from a business perspective, trying to create our social media, trying to increase reach, trying to get seen by more and more people, that's not a community. Okay, a community is not your social media pages. Okay, it's not. It can be, and I'll explain why in a minute, but it's not. It's not you pushing out message, trying to sell your stuff, sending spammy, buy this, have you thought about this? We sell this, we've got this on discount. Yeah, pushing out your objectives only. That is not a community. Okay, and if you're wanting to build a community and that's what you're doing at the moment, then you're doing it all the wrong way. But you're in the right place, because I'm going to tell you how. So what is a community when it comes to social media? Well, a community is a two-way conversation. Okay, it's a two-way conversation. It's a platform that supports people. It uplifts people. We feel inspired. We feel excited. It builds rapport. We all share ideas. We all maybe ask each other for advice and things like that. It's a two-way conversation. We're all in it because we're either interested, we might have common interests, or we might have something that we want to learn together. Okay, so the first thing you need to do when you're thinking about building a community is understand your community. What is it that they want? Are there any common interests that might bring you together as a community? Are you bringing together like-minded people? Maybe they've got the same aims and objectives in mind. Maybe they've got the same values of you. But basically, a community is people coming together with a shared objective. That might be to have fun. That might be to learn. That might be to get advice. But basically, we've all got something in common in this community. We all want the same thing out of it. Okay. And it's not to buy stuff. I can tell you that now. Okay. So the second thing that you need to think about when you're building a community on social media is to be you. And I can't stress this enough, because if you want to be the face of your community, you've got to be you. You've got to be natural. You've got to be authentic. And you've just got to be quite open, really, about who you are, what you believe in, and how you want to help everybody and support everybody. You've got to be natural, okay? And I can tell you now, not everyone's going to like you, but that doesn't matter. We don't all like each other. We want to build a community of people who support and inspire each other. And that means being yourself, your authentic self, whether we like it or not. It means showing your face, I'm afraid, or at least sharing your voice if you're not, if you're a bit cautious about showing your face. But it really is being open, vulnerable, if it works for you, honest. Okay. And that's what it's about. I go around carrying a stupid sheep around. It's really quite embarrassing, but it's a bit of a laugh. We have a bit of fun. And actually, it's a great way to build my brand, a great way to build rapport. But more importantly, it's a great way to open up conversations in a community. Because let's face it, everyone has some stories about sheep. And only today, I had someone sharing me all the sheep paraphernalia that you can now buy in the range. So again, it's really, really important to just be yourself. Yeah, not everybody likes my sense of humour. Not everyone likes my being a bit daft, carrying sheep round, but that doesn't matter. They're not part of my community. You want to be you. Okay. So the third thing you need to consider when building a social media community online is be supportive. Okay. It's all about thanking each other, sharing advice, adding value, but not wanting anything in return. If you're going into a community where you just want something in return, then that's not the way to do it. You want to be adding value, you want to be adding tips, you want to be sharing things that relate to your community, supporting each other, building that rapport, and creating that sense of value in your group, because people are only going to stay in your community if they feel that they're getting value out of it, if they feel that they are heard, they can contribute, and they have a voice. And that's what it's about. So the fourth thing then that you need to consider when you're trying to build your community on social media is to engage. Okay. So if you're creating content in your community, doesn't matter where it is, we'll talk about the different platforms you can use in a minute. But if you're creating content and then your community are taking the time to actually respond to you, engage with you, ask questions, then make sure you are liking and responding back. It's quite daunting to be open on social media, to post something on social media. And if nobody likes or responds, it can feel quite demoralizing. You can feel a bit foolish, even though people might agree with you. So you've got to make sure you're nurturing your community and encouraging them to post more things by liking, commenting, and saying, brilliant, really thanks for that input. So it really is about nurturing your community once it's set up to really, appreciate the feedback, the contributions that they're giving you and your group. Okay. So make sure we are engaging and interacting. So the fifth thing then that you want to do if you're looking to build a community on social media, the fifth thing that you need to think about is, how do we get our community to contribute? Because remember, it's not a one-way conversation. A community is not a one-way conversation. It shouldn't just be you posting content all the time. You want your community to be posting equally as much stuff if possible. Okay, so you want to ask them questions, warm them up, get them feeling comfortable sharing content into your group. Ask their opinions, ask for their advice. Don't forget, even though we're an expert in the field, maybe in the community you've created, doesn't mean we know everything. I'm constantly learning on social media. I learn from my members of the social flock. They ask me questions and I think, crikey, I don't know that. I'm going to research it for them. They'll share things that they've learned and they've found out about. And it's really important we're learning off each other and they feel valued and they feel confident to make that interaction. So encourage them, ask questions, ask their opinions, ask their advice, get them to share what they've achieved. Loads of different things you can do, but really, really make it feel like a welcome contribution, whatever they put forward. Okay. So those are the kind of 5 areas that you need to do to build a community on social media. But you also need to consider, when you're thinking about building a community on social media, is that you might want to create a private space. So you can create a community using your social media pages, and some influencers do it really, really well. They have lots of conversations underneath their posts. You know, their followers might be asking questions, might be conversing, and you know, the influencer will be responding back and engaging and making sure it's an active community. But actually, let's face it, we're not all influencers, are we? We don't have thousands and thousands of followers. So actually, it's much easier to create maybe a private space, like a Facebook group, a LinkedIn group. You might want to create a WhatsApp group. They're all different platforms that you can use to create a private space where you only allow members in. And again, this is something that we do with the Social Flock. We have a private Facebook group where people can ask questions about social media things they might be stuck on. You know, we have a private WhatsApp group as well where members can share, you know, their wins, share their failures, because it's all about learning off each other. So again, that private space where they're just talking to the community. So again, think about that platform and whether you want to create a community in that private space. People will be much more open and honest in a private space. The other thing you need to consider is the time. It does take time to create a community because you've got to be there, you've got to spend time, you've got to plan what you're going to put into this community, what sort of content, how are you going to get people to engage. So a lot of time does go into creating a community rather than just posting stuff out on your page. Okay, we're talking about a lot of engagement, but it can be extremely rewarding. And for me, I really enjoy it. I love being a part of the Social Flock. My members are there. It's great. We have a laugh. We get to know each other. We feel confident sharing information, advice. We feel confident asking questions. And that's what it's about. So if you enjoy it, your community is going to enjoy it. Okay. And actually, you can make money off a community. You know, I have the Social Flock membership. You know, it is a paid for membership, but we still have that supportive community. Again, you know, it doesn't matter what sort of community building, whether you offer, you know, whether you're a climber, a walker, you know, you might have subscription for people coming along to your walks. You might have a business community where you offer remote IT services. So you might have a community where you all share IT failures, problems, successes. It doesn't matter what community you create. Actually, if you create the community, there's an opportunity potentially for you to monetize that community as well by offering such good value and such support that you can actually charge a fee for that community. So again, those are the things to consider when you are growing a community on social media. The main thing is it's not about you selling. It's about bringing people together with a common interest, with a common goal, where we can all share our advice, support, and ideas and help each other out. So if you've enjoyed these, please give us a thumbs up. Make sure you do subscribe to my social media where I share lots of tips and support every week on social media. And again, if you'd like to be part of our great community, then please do come and join the Social Flock. We would love to have you in our group. We do have a lovely membership group. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you again next week for more social media tips and advice. See you soon.